Hello, and welcome to this tutorial of the Elementi software. Today we will be going over spreadsheet widgets. These widgets are a great way to display and pull data from your everyday spreadsheet tools, such as Excel, Excel Online, SharePoint, Google Sheets, and even CSV. This can be useful to display things such as menus, sports scores, employee birthdays, poll results, and many more. To get started, let's go into our Elementi project and go to the Widgets tab on the bottom left. So, we'll find our Spreadsheets folder, double click into it, and we'll just pick whichever spreadsheet widget that we'd like to use. So I'm going to grab this text roll and drag and drop it into my project. So I drag it to the right, and you'll see it pops up in the preview panel. So now I'm just going to resize it to fit the screen the way I would like. Once I've resized it, I'm going to go to the right and double click into my widget that I just added. Once I get inside of my spreadsheet widget, you'll see we have a field that says data here to the left. And to the right, you'll see a blue data symbol. So if I double click on this blue data symbol, the first thing we're going to do is point this towards our spreadsheet. Now by default, it's going to be set, the channel is going to be set to CSV, but we're going to use this drop down to select an Excel file. Once we've selected Excel, let's click Workbook and find an Excel workbook that we'd like to work with. So I have here, I've got a menu that I would like to pull, so I'm going to just select it and click Open. After I've done this, I can actually hit Test on the bottom left, and it'll display my my workbook. So now you'll see if I go to my Excel file, let's pull it up on my desktop. You'll actually see that it looks very similar to the way it's being displayed inside of the widget. So this is the actual Excel file that I'm pulling. And now if I go into Elementi and click Test, you'll see that it's actually pulling all of this data, and what it's doing is it's putting a column header on the top for A, a column header for B. So this is a great way to preview what is inside of your spreadsheet without actually having to go pull up the physical Excel file. After I've done this, I'm just going to go down and click OK on the bottom right of the pane. Now my widget's pointed towards my Excel sheet. So what I need to do is take the first column, which is A, that you saw when we clicked Test, and take the second column, which is B, and map these so that I can pull all of the data from A and B into our text roll widget. I can do this by coming down to where you'll see it says text template, and clicking on this pencil. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put, in these double brackets, I'm going to put A, then I'm going to go space, double brackets, B, and select OK. Once I do this, you'll see all of my data from my spreadsheet is now scrolling up. So all of the items in A and all of the items in column B are being pulled and scrolling up. Now I might want to, since the second column B was actually price items, we might want to click on this pencil and say, okay, a dollar sign, and we can put that right outside the brackets, and that'll add a dollar sign to our price item. Now, there's actually different ways to pull data. You can pull it by table header as well. The way we just pulled it was just by not selecting any of the filters. But if I double click on my data symbol, you'll see the data properties comes up, and we've got a couple of different options here. Now the first is cell range, and then as I mentioned before, there's a table header option. So let's say we wanted to only pull cells A1 through B4. And we can also see this here. So A1 through B4. What we can do is we can come and select cell range, type in A1, we put a colon, put B4. Now if I click test, you'll see it's filtering the data now by the cell range. So I'm going to click close, and I'm going to hit OK. And this is actually going to change the data that's being pulled in our preview panel by the widget. So you'll see now we have cells A1 through B4 being pulled. Nothing else is being pulled from the spreadsheet. Now there's another option, and that is to actually pull the data by its header. So if I select a table has a header and unselect cell range, and I click test, it's actually going to take cells A1 and B1 and turn those into headers. Now, this doesn't make a lot of sense with the spreadsheet we're currently using, but if I go back into my spreadsheet and let's say I insert a row on the top, and let's name this one item, and then let's do cell B1 as price. Let's save it. Let's go back into Elementi. Click test. So now I've clicked test, you'll see I've got item and price showing up since it automatically refreshes from within the widget. Still got cell range selected, so I'll unselect it. Go back to table has a header. Click test. So now you'll see item and price are being pulled as the table headers because they're in cells A1 and cells B1. So I'm going to click close. I'm going to leave this selected. I'm going to click OK. And now what we're going to need to do is go back and change our mappings from columns A and B to item and price. Because remember, when we didn't select the table header, or we actually had cells columns A and columns B at the top that we were mapping to. But now that we have a header and we've selected that option, we have item and price. So if I click on this pencil, I'm just going to change it to item, price. Select OK. And now we're pulling all of the data, but by its header that we just added. So as you can see, the spreadsheet widgets are not just easy to use, they're also very powerful and give you a ton of flexibility in ways that you can display your data on the screen. It doesn't matter what type of spreadsheet you're using or widget you're using, they all work the same. So now that I've done this, I'm just going to save my project. And I just want to thank you guys for watching this tutorial video, and have a great rest of your day.